Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced replay. This is the final game of May 6th, game 183 on the season. Texas and Cleveland from Arlington Stadium in Texas. Ballpark effects are 11s both all around the board. Lefties and righties for singles and home runs are 11. Two knuckleballers going at it. Charlie Hough for the Rangers and Phil Niekro for the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland enters this game 12-14. Texas enters the game 10-13. And there you see the starting lineups. So the only thing left to do now is to pull this up on the Strat-O-Matic computer so we can get this game rolling. Got my dice closest to Texas colors as I could get. And we will get this game rolling from Texas. Charlie Hough is the starter for the Rangers, knuckleballer. As we look at Charlie Hough's overall record on the replay, he checks in with a record of 4-1 and a 2.45 earned run average. So really good start for Charlie Hough. 48 innings pitched, only 29 hits, 13 walks, 34 strikeouts. So done very well. His whip, if I don't see what the whip is on the Strat computer, but I'm sure it's very good considering he has low number of hits and low number. His walks and hits together don't match his innings pitched. So his whip is probably like 0.8 something or 0.9 something. So anyway, Charlie Hough will be getting those warm-up tosses in. And leading off for the Tribe will be Tony Bernazard, second baseman. Tabby is in here with me. I don't know if she wants to stand here or not. She's kind of moving around, so I don't know what she's going to do or how she's going to do it. So we're just going to play it, and hopefully she just lays there quietly and doesn't disturb anything. Bernazard on the replay hitting .274, 4 home runs, and 13 driven in. And we're underway from Arlington. 1-9, and that's a 1-16 single, but that's an 18, so he lines it to second. Bernazard lines it to Jerry Brown to start the ball game. Kind of a bad break for Bernazard, that high D20. That'll send up Brett Butler, center fielder. Butler recently returned from the disabled list at the beginning of the month, so he's only had 28 at-bats, but he is hitting .464 in those 28 at-bats. 3-8, and he's going to continue his hot hitting. He gets a single there, so Brett Butler getting it done. He will be looking to get the lead. 2 through 8 or a 12, he gets the lead. Hough is a +1 overall with the catcher slot. They combine to a +1. So if he gets the lead, it'll be a 1-14, but he's got to do a 2 through 8 or a 12, which shouldn't be that hard, you wouldn't think. But it's a 2, so it's a chance of a balk on Charlie Hough. When you roll a 1, it's a chance the runner's picked off. When you roll a 2, then of course you are looking at a potential balk on the pitcher. So we check the balk rating on Hough, and his balk rating is a 13. So that's not good. 1-13, he can have a balk. And he does, so he balks him to second base. So a balk on Hough, as Butler disturbed him enough to cause him to balk. And that'll put a runner in scoring position with only 1 out. And Julio Franco, the shortstop, stepping to the plate. And Hough in a little bit of early trouble. As I'm looking for something and I can't find it. Probably buried under something. Usually is. So one moment while I hopefully find what I'm looking for. It's got to be in here somewhere. There it is. Okay. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Now we're ready to continue. Julio Franco on the replay, by the way, is hitting .297, 2 homers and 11 driven in. right. I'm just doing one simple little thing here. Yep. Okay. We're good. All right. So Butler is at second base. Havoc roll for Hough. Nothing happening. Here's Franco. That's a 110. And that's a single to center field. There's an anti-clutch here, but there's only one out. So the single is good. Butler was being held, makes him a 15. Single to center. McDowell is a -1, makes him a 14. 1 to 14. If they send him, then Franco can take second base on the throw. 1 to 14, they're going to send him, and Texas is throwing to the plate, so Franco is going to get second base regardless. But 1 to 14, he's safe. 15 to 20, he's out. And he's safe. So an RBI single from Julio Franco puts the Cleveland Indians ahead 1-0, and Franco will take second on the throw. So RBI from Franco. And now he's in scoring position. Let me fix this real quick. Good thing the undo button is there because I needed that to make sure that Franco gets to second base. All right, there we go. So now here's Joe Carter. On the replay, Carter really struggling, a $179. 3 homers, 5 driven in. He hit 264 real world, so he's really been struggling. But, of course, it's a long way to go. He has 470-some at-bats left, so a lot of time to turn it around. 3-9, but he won't do it here. Ground ball to short. That's out number 2. Franco will stay at second base, I should say. And there are 2 away. For Mel Hall, left fielder. 342 average, 3 homers, 13 driven in. It is a clutch situation. And in the clutch, Mel Hall against right-handers is completely neutral. No effect. Hough to Hall. That's a 4-5, and that is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning, but the Tribe get on the board first thanks to a single by Butler, a balk by Hough, and a single by Franco. Go to the bottom of the first. It's Cleveland 1 and Texas coming to bat. And the other knuckleballer, Phil Niekro, will toe the slab. Hello, Colin. No, I don't think so, Colin. Don't think he is. Tabby is being quiet, so I'm very happy about that for right now. But she could chime in at any time and have to let her out. So we'll see what happens. Niekro on the replay, 1-2, ERA of 5.34. 32 innings pitched, 32 hits, 24 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So the walks have been his bugaboo. Leading off is Jerry Brown. He's hitting 291, 1 homer, 5 driven in. It's a 4-8, and that's a trouble for Niekro right out the bat. 1 to 14 is a double. That is a 20, so it will be just a single for Brown. So Jerry Brown, leadoff single. He'll be looking to get the lead. Needs a 2. A 4 through 9 to get the lead. 11, he's caught stealing, so he's got to watch out for the 11. He's picked off on an 11. That's a 9, so he gets the lead. He's a 15, being held to 13, but the +1 from Nico's a 14. 1 to 14, he's safe. And he's in there. Stolen base, Jerry Brown. So Jerry Brown gets the stolen base. He's in scoring position with nobody out for Oddibe McDowell. Hello, Kenyon. Oddibe Young again, McDowell. Hitting 200 on the season. 1 homer, 3 driven in. Hit 241 real world. 2-7, that is a strikeout. McDowell whiffs. 1 away. And that will take us over to Pete O'Brien, the first baseman. O'Brien hitting 329 on the replay. 5 homers, 16 driven in. 6-9, and against Niekro, that's a single to right field. We'll see if that's enough to score the run. Snyder, however, is a -4 arm in right field. So Jerry Brown, a 15. He was being held. Makes him a 14. The -4 makes it a 10. So they will hold him at third base. So runners at the corners. And 1 out. And that'll send up Incavilla. I forgot to show the score sheet from the previous game in the series. So what happened in the previous game is that Mike Mason got shelled. Reliever Greg Harris had to pitch 5 1/3 innings, so he is unavailable for this game. All other relievers are available, but Greg Harris is not. He went 5 1/3 in relief in this previous outing. So Cleveland won the game 5-3, but Greg Harris is not available. So the Rangers are 1 short in the bullpen. You're welcome, Kenyon. You're definitely welcome. Anything I can do to help. Pete Incavilla stepping to the plate, hitting 179, 2 homers, 8 driven in. Infield looking for the double play. Niekro actually looking for another strikeout. 4-10, doesn't get it. That's an in-home run chance, 1-19. It's gone. Pete Incavilla, a 3-run home run as the knuckleball did not knuckle. We'll look at it again. 4-10, right-handed. 1-19 is a home run, and of course he has normal power. So for Pete Incavilla, home run number 3, RBIs 9, 10, and 11. And Texas takes a 3-1 lead. So 3-1. And here's Ruben Sierra. Speaking of home runs, he leads the league in home runs with 10. And 21 runs driven in, hitting 295. That's a 5-8. Switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to right field. And put away out there by Snyder. 2 down. So 2 away. 3 are in. And here's Larry Parrish, the DH. Parrish hitting 273. 5 homers, 14 driven in. 1-7. He's going to strike out to end the inning. But the 3-run home run from Pete Incavilla gives the Rangers a 3-1 lead after 1. And at least to this point, the karma of the thumbnail for Phil Niekro is not working out. But we got 8 innings to go. Here's Charlie Hough back on the mound facing Pat Tabler. Tabler on the replay is hitting 369, 4 homers, 16 driven in. 5-7, and that's ground ball shortstop X. That's Wilkerson. They're giving Fletcher the game off, so Wilkerson's a 3E44. 3-16, he'll get to it, but the E44 is going to be problematic for a shortstop. E44, well, maybe not too bad. 8, 13, 16, and 18. So he's only got 4 numbers to avoid. And he does, so it's good play for Kurt Wilkerson. Wilkerson will throw out Tabler for 1 away. And that'll send up Corey Snyder. Snyder hitting 239, 3 homers, 11 driven in. 111, and that's a fly to right field, hauled in by Sierra, 2 down. And that takes us to Brooke Jacoby. Jacoby is the leading hitter in the league, hitting 385, 4 homers, 19 driven in. 4-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Jerry Brown. He's a 3E16. 3-19 is good. E16. And a 9. E16 and a 9 for a second baseman. E16, there is no 9, so it's good play for Jerry Brown. And that will take care of the Tribe in quick order. 1, 2, 3. Go to the bottom of the second. Still 3-1 Texas. And due up for the Rangers, it'll be the catcher, Don Slaught. Look at the numbers on Slaught. He's hitting 311, 5 homers, 12 driven in. That's a 311, and that's a double for Don Slaught. Solid double. So Niekro not exactly fooling anybody on the Rangers with his knuckleball. It's not moving quite as much as he probably would like. Bring up Buechele. Steve Buechele hitting 241, 3 homers, 12 driven in. 4-5, and it's a ground ball second base C. That will get the runner to third base with only one out. And now the infield is going to come in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. They can avoid it. So the infield is in for the at-bat of Curtis Wilkerson. Wilkerson on the replay only hitting a $154. He's only had 13 at-bats. So it's a little premature. He's hit 268 real world. That's nothing on the Havoc. So the infield is in. That's a 3-4, and that is a hit by pitch. So Wilkerson gets plunked. Didn't hurt, though, because it's a knuckleball going about 55 miles an hour. So Wilkerson's aboard. He can get a stolen base chance. He can get the lead on a 2-8 or a 10. And he gets the lead. So he's a 15, being held as a 13, plus 1's a 14. Runner on third slot will hold. And he steals it. So that takes the double play out of the equation. Stolen base for Wilkerson. Now the infield stays in because there's no double play to turn. And it's Jerry Brown's turn. Brown singled, stole second, and scored his first time up. Infield in for the Tribe. 3-4, and that is a fly ball center field B ? Potential sacrifice fly, although Slot does not run well at all. Center fielder Butler is a 0. So Slot, it runs at a 10. With the B ? You add 2 to it to make it a 12. So his safe range is 1 to 12, but his out range is 13 to 20. So do they want to send him or not is the question. I think Slot doesn't run well enough. They're going to hold him there. Faster runner, they would have done it, but not with Slot. So 2 down, and it's up to O.B. McDowell. (2-8) for McDowell. He flies to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Niekro pitches around the mess. And at the end of 2, it's Texas 3, Cleveland 1. Hough will come back out and face number 9, hitter Chris Bando, the catcher. Bando, on the replay, hitting a $186. He hit 218 real world. 1 homer, 8 driven in. 311, and that's a solid double for Chris Bando. Back come the Tribe. Solid double by Bando. As he's aboard, of course, he will not be held. They're definitely not going to hold him. And we will turn it now over to the top of the order and Tony Bernazard. Bernazard lined to Jerry Brown his first time up. For 6, switch hitter batting left is a walk. So first and second, nobody out. Not what you want if you're Hough. You're putting Tribe runners on the base paths, and that's helping them get back in this game. Butler is up. He could bunt. He's an A bunter. Then you got the big boys coming up, so he's going to bunt. First, we'll check for Havoc. Nothing happening. He becomes a B bunter. So the bunt is going to go. Let's get our bunt chart out. It's a 6, so that means the bunt is going to the third baseman, and that is Bouchel. He will field the bunt. As a B bunter, he basically needs a 9 or less to have a good bunt. It's a 5, so that's definitely a good sacrifice. It'll go 5-4 on the sacrifice hit. And it'll put runners in scoring position, both of them, where a base hit can tie this game. So Butler does what he was called upon to do. Texas, with a 3-1 lead, is playing back. They don't want to give up a cheap single through the infield. It's going to score 2 runs. So they're going to play back for Julio Franco. That's a 5-12, and that's a ballpark blast for Julio Franco. It's 1-11. That's a 9, but Franco has weak power against right-handers. So it's a single 2 stars, but that sacrifice bunt means both these runners will score on the single 2 stars. And we got a tie game at 3. And once again, we're playing chess here, folks. A lot of managers would not have bunted this early, but I bunted to get the guys in scoring position, and it paid dividends. So we're tied at 3. Franco now has a chance to get the lead on a 2 through 5. Does not get the lead. That'll bring up Joe Carter. 1-7, and he strikes out. His struggles continue. First strikeout for Charlie Hough. So Carter is gone. And now, with 2 down, we will have Mel Hall. 1 chance for a wild pitch on Charlie Hough. His wild pitch rating is an 8. So 1 to 8, he will uncork a wild pitch. He does not. It's actually blocked this time by Slot, so no wild pitch. And that'll take us to Hall's at bat. 1-4, and that's a ballpark single. 1 to an 11. That's a 14. It's going to pop it to first. O'Brien is there, but the Tribe get the 2 runs to tie this ball game. Go to the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 3. I expected runs in this game with these 2 mediocre pitchers going, so so far has not disappointed. Plus, these teams have good offenses as well, so it kind of really plays into the fact that it might be a high-scoring game. So Pete O'Brien will lead things off against Niekro. 4-9, and that's trouble for Niekro. 1 to 5 is a triple, anything else is a double. So it's a leadoff double for Pete O'Brien. Back come the Rangers. O'Brien not being held. Here's Incavilla. He homered. 3-run homer his first time up. 110, and it's a ballpark blast. 1 to 11, but that's too much. That's a 15, so it's just a deep fly to left. And Incavilla almost had his 2nd home run of the game, but not quite. Just got up under it a bit. And here's Ruben High Sierra. 210, and that is a ballpark blast for Sierra, and that's going to go. Ballpark blast, 1 to 11. That's a 2. Ruben Sierra, who was already leading the league in home runs with 10, just hit home run number 11. A 2-run shot as the Rangers reclaim the 2 runs they just gave up. Ruben Sierra, home run number 11, RBIs 22 and 23. And just like that, the Rangers are back in front 5-3. And Niekro having some issues. Here's Larry Parrish. 2-4, and that is a ground ball to short. 2 away. It may take 10 runs to win this game, the way these pitchers are. You never know. Here's Don Slot. 5-11. That's a fly ball left field X, and that is Hall. He's a 3-E-4. 3 and a 13, he'll get to it. E4 shouldn't be a problem. E4 and a 9 for a left fielder. E4, there's no 9. Good play for Mel Hall to end the inning. But Texas gets 2 runs on the Sierra home run. At the end of 3, it's Texas 5 and Cleveland 3. Slugfest here at Arlington. Hello, Captain. Hello, Dav. Good to see both of you. Pat Tabler will lead off for the Tribe. He'll be followed by Snyder and Jacoby. 2-7, and that's a solid single for Tabler. And here we go again with the hit parade. Tabler not going to be held, obviously. Here's Corey Snyder. 4-9, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Charlie Hough. Not really a strikeout pitcher per se. Here's Brooke Jacoby. Five, 6, and that's 1 to 5 for a double, but that's an 8, so it will be just a fly to left. Hauled in by Incaviglia. 2 away for Chris Bando, the catcher, who did double his first time up. 1-3, and that's a ballpark single check. 1 to 11, that's a 4. It's a base hit, but it's only 1 star. Runners at now first and second. With 2 outs and now a clutch situation for Tony Bernazard. Tying runs are on base. Bernazard has walked and lined to second. 2-6, and he's going to ground it to first. Joe Carter will take, I'm sorry, not Joe Carter, Pete O'Brien will take it to the bag himself, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, still 5-3, favor of Texas. Don't know how much longer Niekro is going to be able to go. If he gives up that 6th run, he will hit fatigue. So the bullpen for the Tribe, they're all well rested, so they can use anybody they want, basically. And it looks like we're going to go from one veteran to the other. Steve Carlton is loosening in the bullpen. He will later get traded to Minnesota, but right now he starts the year with Cleveland. He does some starting, but right now he's doing some relief pitching. He's in that relief role. So he is in the bullpen warming up. Here's Bouchel against Niekro. That's a 5-9, and that's a fly to left. Mel Hall puts it away, 1 down. And that'll take us to Kurt Wilkerson, the number 9 hitter. He was hit by a pitch first time up. 4-5, switch hitter, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. Niekro says, I want to stay in here a little bit longer. I don't want to come out this just yet. It's only been 4 innings. So here's Brown. 3-4, and that's a fly to center. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Niekro. And now Carlton is sat back down, as it looks like Niekro may have righted the ship. We go to the 5th. It's still 5-3, favor of the Rangers. Hough out, and he will be facing Butler, Franco, and Carter for the Tribe. Butler singled and scored a run. Also had a key sacrifice hit. 2-7. He's going to ground it to second. Jerry Brown will make the play. 1 away for Julio Franco. Julio Franco. That's a 6-7, right-handed. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Charlie Hough. Again, not a big strikeout guy, but he does get his 3rd strikeout. I'll bring up Joe Carter, the struggling Joe Carter. 6'10", and he's going to hit a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Oddibe McDowell. He's a 3 E5. 3-15, he'll get to it. E5 is the only question. And that's a 9, so it's probably okay. E5, there is no 9, so it's good play for McDowell. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hough. So maybe the pitcher, maybe the knuckleballs are starting to knuckle some more now that they've gotten warmed up and got a little fatigue on their arm. It might be working more. We will turn it over to Phil Niekro and see if he can keep it going. He's retired 5 in a row. Here's McDowell to start it off. 2-8, and that's a fly to center, so make it now 6 in a row for Phil Niekro. And that'll bring up Pete O'Brien. Bryan has singled and doubled, scored 2 runs. Driven in 1. 6-10, and that's a catcher X. That's Bando. He's a 2-E2. 2 and a 16. Probably some sort of a pop out or foul out. Let's see. 2 and a 16 for a catcher. 2 and a 16 is actually, it's a straight out foul out. And his error rating is a 2. So the only way he makes an error is 3, 17, and 18. And he makes the play. So it is going to be a foul out. So he fouls out to Chris Bando for out number 2. That's 7 in a row now for Phil Niekro. And here's Pete Incaviglia. He's homered and fly to left. 5-8, and that's a pop out to third. So make it 7 in a row, turned in by Mr. Niekro. He obviously did not want to come out of the game yet. So we go to the 6th inning. It's 5-3. Next inning will be Niekro's fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hough is a 7, so he's still good to go. He'll be facing Hall, Tabler, and Snyder for the Tribe. Still 5-3. It's been that way since the 3rd. Hello, Prague. Good to see you. Hough, 6-7 to Hall, lefty, ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Wilkerson, 3E44. 3 and a 6 should be okay on a 3 and a 6, I would think. 3 and a 6, yep, it's a G3. And of course, the E44 we've already seen, 8, 13, 16, and 18 are the error numbers. And that's the 13. It's going to be an error right there. E44, that 13 comes up an awful lot, and there it is. So Kurt Wilkerson boots it. E6 to start the top of the 6th. That brings the tying run to the plate. Mel Hall will not be held. Here's Pat Tabler. (1-7) for Tabler. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Charlie Hough. 1 away for Corey Snyder. Snyder's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 4-4, and that's another strikeout. So 5 strikeouts now for Charlie Hough. Boy, that knuckleball all of a sudden, the last couple innings has been dancing. But now here's the league's leading hitter, Brooke Jacoby. Although he is 0 for 2, he's still hitting .378 at the moment. So still leading the league in hitting. So he's going to be dangerous. 1-7, that's a 1-3 triple, but that's a 12. So he flies to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Hough, 3 consecutive scoreless frames for Hough. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 5-3. Score has not changed in a while. Niekro, this is his fatigue inning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Ruben Sierra. It is legally an 11th home run, his last time up. 6-8, switch hitter batting left. 6-8 is a single, so that breaks up the 8 in a row he had retired previously. Sierra is aboard to get the lead, 3 or 6 through 8, but 11 he's picked off. That's a 7. He gets the lead. It's a 15, -2 for being held to 13, +1's a 14. Ruben Sierra going for the steal. 1-14, he makes it. And he's caught stealing. Wow. Nice throw by Bando. And Bernazard puts on the tag. Ruben Sierra caught trying to steal second base. Here's Larry Parrish. Parrish is 0 for 2. 4-6. That's a strikeout. He's not tired. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. So the strikeout is good for Niekro. That's only his 3rd strikeout. 2 down for Don Slaught. Slaught has doubled and flown to left. 1-8, and he's going to ground to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Niekro will keep some endurance for the 7th. We played 6. It's still 5-3. Those middle 3 innings are all goose eggs. Very surprising the way the first 3 innings were going, but the knuckleballs must be settling in, is all I can say. And we go to the top of the 7th. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. Top of the 7th we go. 5-3 score has remained. We're in the 7th inning, so now pinch hitting is allowed. Chris Bando, a 218 hitter, but he is 2 for 2, and he's a switch hitter, so he has Huff's number so far. I'm not going to pinch hit for a guy that's 2 for 2 on the game, so Chris Bando will swing it. 6-6, and 1 to 13 is a single, but that's a 16. Boy, a bad break. He lines it to second. Should have been his third hit. But the evil D20 came up too high that time. All right, here's Bernazard. Bernazard 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. That's a 3-7, and he will ground it to third. Buechele makes the play. And Hough seems to be in control. Here's Butler. 4-8, left-handed is a 2-out walk. That can be the start of some bad things for a pitcher. That 2-out walk. Those walks will get you sometimes. For Hough, that is walk number 2. Butler is going to be looking to get the jump, get the steal. 2 through 8 or a 12 gets him the lead. And that's a 9, so he does not get the lead. He will hold. And Julio Franco, the batter. Hough to Franco, 2-9, lines it to second. The governor, Jerry Brown, is there, and the inning's over. So Charlie Hough keeps his endurance as well. And the score, I thought it would be like 10-9, but that 5-3 score has been with us for a while. Hough will come back for the 8th, no question about it. Niekro is going to come back for the 7th. He only gave up 1 single against his point of weakness. Now, the bullpen is active for Cleveland just in case. They do have activity in their bullpen. And with some lefties coming up, let's see here. It looks like instead of Carlton, they have Ed Vandenberg. He's loosening in the bullpen for Cleveland right now, just in case Niekro runs into issues. But we're at the 7th inning stretch, and so that means take me out to the ball game. I'm going to stretch with you. Tabby's sitting here right beside me on the floor, enjoying the action. So I don't want to disturb her or do anything to make her fuss or whatever. So we're just going to keep her the way she is. She's nice and quiet and behaving, and we want to keep it that way. All right, 7th inning stretch time. Time to stretch for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, 7th inning stretch is completed. And we'll move on to the bottom of the 7th. And Niekro is going to come back out, start the inning facing Steve Buechele. 3-6 for Buechele. Ground ball to third, 1 away. So talk about resilience. Both these pitchers showing some grit after getting knocked around early. Here's Kurt Wilkerson. 1-2, and that's a 1-2 home run. 11, though, is going to be a triple for Curtis Wilkerson. Look at it again. A 1-2 against right-handers. 1-2 is a homer. 3-20 is a triple. So Kurt Wilkerson with a triple. He had 3 in 138 at bats, so that's why he's listed with a triple. And for Kurt Wilkerson, let's see how on the replay how many triples he's got now. Was that his first triple? That was his first triple. It's his first hit. Oh, not his first hit, but he hitting only 143. So his first extra base hit, and it's going to be a triple. And now with Jerry Brown coming up, infield is in. Ed Vandenberg is ready to come in if they want to switch Brown around to bat right-handed instead of left-handed. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and pull Niekro. So Phil Niekro will exit. He will go 6 1/3. He's going to give up 8 hits, 5 runs all earned so far, but he is responsible for Wilkerson. So can't totally close the book on that. And we'll get his walks and strikeouts. He struck out 3. And how many did he walk anybody? He hit a batter, but he did not walk anybody. So no walks by Niekro. So Ed Vandenberg, the left-hander, coming in for Cleveland, and we'll get the numbers on him on the replay. Mr. Vandenberg. On the replay, he is 2-1 with a save, but a high ERA of 8.44. 11 innings pitched, 17 hits, 7 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So Ed Vandenberg, real world, his ERA was 5.10. So he's obviously a little bit above that now with an 8.44, but he's only pitched 11 innings. He pitched 72 innings real world. So, hopefully for him, it'll even out later on. So the infield is in. No choice. Infield has to come in for Jerry Brown. That's a 5-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-11, that's a base hit. That'll score the run. Now we can close the book on Niekro. He's going to give up 6 runs, all earned. RBI single from Jerry Brown. So Brown's aboard. Vandenberg, though, is a -4 hold. So it makes that a -3 with the catcher. So if he doesn't look good, the odds aren't with him, so he will hold. And that'll send up Oddibe McDowell. He's 0 for 3. And that was against the righty. Now he's facing the lefty. 3-4, and that's a ground ball first base. It's a 3-6-3 double play turned by Carter and Franco to end the inning. But the Rangers get an important insurance run. And at the end of 7, they lead it 6-3. And Charlie Hough coming back out to start the 8th. Why not? Here's Joe Carter. He's been struggling. He's 0 for 3. Hello, Doug. Good to see you. Joe Carter 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 5-3, and that's a ground ball to first. See, that means O'Brien fields it, flips to Hough covering. Hough was not sleeping on the job. He came over and covered the bag as he's supposed to do, just like he learned in spring training. 1 away, and here's Mel Hall. 110 for Hall. That's a ballpark blast. 1-11. That's gone. Mel Hall. A solo blast. Look at it again. 1-10 is a ballpark blast. It's 1-11. That's a 4. So Mel Hall, his 4th home run of the season, RBI 14. And how big was that run now? Makes it a 6-4 game. Huff still going. Bullpen activity for the Rangers as they have this guy loosening in the bullpen, the wild thing, Mitch Williams. He is loosening in the bullpen for the Rangers. Right now it's Pat Tabler. .511, and that's a ballpark blast, and that's gone. Back-to-back jacks. Look at it again. 5-11 is a ballpark blast. 1-11, that's an 8. Oh, I take it back. Tabler has weak power against righties. I stand corrected. I didn't realize that. He has weak power against righties. Normal against lefties, weak against righties. So it will not be a home run. It will be a single. So Hough catches a break. Hough catches a break, but he may be fatiguing just a little bit. He's going to face Corey Snyder. That's a 1-6 for Snyder. Struck him out. Big strikeout there. Strikeout number 6 for Hough. And that brings up Brooke Jacoby. 0 for 3 against that knuckleball, so they're going to leave him in there to face Jacoby. 5-5, and that's a 1-3 triple. Anything else will be a double. That's a double for Jacoby, and that will probably be all for Hough. Tabler runs at an 11 with 2 outs. Well, he wasn't being held, makes him a 12. 2 outs makes it a 14. The double is assumed to go to center, so the center field arm is a -1. That would make that a 13. So 1-13 to try to get that second run in. And they're going to try it. 1-13, they're going to send him. And he's in there. So RBI double for Brooke Jacoby. That's going to be all for Charlie Hough. His day is done. The wild thing, Mitch Williams, will be coming on. RBI double for Jacoby. Makes it a 6-5 ball game. Hough is officially tired, but it doesn't matter. We were coming out anyway. And now we got to figure out if Chris Bando is going to hit or not. They may get a pinch hitter for Bando. We shall see. But Hough is done, and the wild thing, Mitch Williams, will be coming on. Try to get a 4-out save. Williams is a -6 hold, so obviously that's going to be a factor in case the Tribe wants to try to steal or do anything like that. Look at their bench for Cleveland as to who they have that might want to pinch hit. And it looks like Carmen Castillo has picked up a bat and will hit for Bando. And then Rick Dempsey will come in and do the catching. So Castillo will be the hitter for Bando. Castillo will pinch hit here in the 8th. And then Dempsey will catch in the 8th. So Carmen Castillo will get the call. Can't finish the numbers on Hough just yet. But Castillo will get the call, and we'll get the numbers on Mitch Williams on the replay as well. So, Castillo hitting .250 on the replay, 7 out of 28, 2 homers, 4 driven in. Mitch Williams 0-2 with 3 saves, an ERA of 7, 9 innings pitched, 8 hits, 13 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So there you go, the wild thing. Runner at second, Jacoby. He is the tying run. He runs at an 11. I don't know if anybody else to play third base. Maybe Snyder. You could use Otis Nixon and run. But then you're looking at not having a third baseman potentially. Is anybody else rated to play third base? No, no one is. So he's the only one rated to play third base, so we're going to have to leave him in there. He is the only one rated for that. All right, so Castillo stepping in against Mitch Williams. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. That's a 1 possible wild pitch on Mitch Williams. So we talk about wild thing, and the first thing he does is potentially throw a wild pitch. His wild pitch rating is 7. It is a wild pitch, so he comes in and throws a wild pitch right off the bat. Before he even gets to face the batter, he throws a wild pitch. Living up to the nickname. There are 2 outs, though, so still going to probably take a base hit, most likely. All right, Williams to Castillo. Clutch situation for Carmen Castillo. He loses a hit on 210 against lefties. That's a 5-3, and that is a fly ball right field X. That'll be Sierra. He's a 2E12. 2 and a 20, he'll get to it. It's the E12 that's in question. E12 for a right fielder. He will have to avoid 4, 16, 13, 14, 3, and 8. So basically 3, 4, 13, 14, 16, and 18. And he does. So it's a good play for Sierra, and the inning's over. So Mitch Williams gets out of the mess. But 2 runs come in for the Tribe. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with a 6-5 ball game. Rick Dempsey will take over behind the plate for Cleveland. Vandenberg will stay in the game to catch. I'm sorry, to pitch. He pitched. He got the final out, the double play to end the inning last inning, so he's going to stay in there. We'll get the final numbers on Hough. After all is said and done, we'll see what the numbers on Hough represent. 7 2/3. He's going to give up 9 hits and 5 runs, all earned, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. So Mitch Williams will come back for the 9th to try to close the deal with it. Pete O'Brien will lead things off for Texas against Vandenberg. It'll be O'Brien, then Incaviglia, and Sierra. So Cleveland, a right-hander, is loosening in their bullpen. So Vandenberg will most likely just face Pete O'Brien, and that's it. And it looks like looks to be Ernie Macho Camacho will be coming in to pitch to face Incaviglia after this at bat. But right now it is Vandenberg against O'Brien. Bottom of the 8th, 6-5 ball game, Texas in front. O'Brien 2 for 3, single and a double, 2 runs scored and an RBI. 3-12 to the lefty. That's a ballpark blast, and that's a 10. It's gone. Once again, the ballpark blast rears its ugly head. 1-11, and that's a 10. So how about that? Pete O'Brien homers off of Vandenberg. And that will definitely be it for Vandenberg. O'Brien, home run number 6, RBI 17, gives the Rangers an insurance run as they now lead it 7-5. But with Incaviglia coming on, it'll be Ernie Camacho taking the mound for the Tribe. Vandenberg is going to go 2/3 of an inning. He is going to give up 2 hits and a run. No walks, no strikeouts. So Pete Incaviglia is going to hit, and Camacho will be coming in. So we'll get the numbers on Camacho. Ernie Macho Camacho. On the replay, he is 1-0 with 3 saves, ERA of 4.32, 8 innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Camacho to Incaviglia, 5-8. Ground ball second base X. That is Bernazar. He's a 4. 4 and 11 should be okay. 4 and 11 is a G3. That's good enough. He's an E22, so he has to avoid 12, 18, and 12, 17, and 18, basically. Those 3 numbers, 12, 17, and 18. And it's 14, so he got lucky. He makes the play, 1 away. So 1 down, and Ruben Sierra steps to the plate. 2-5, and that's a fly to center, 2 down. For Larry Parrish, the DH, who's 0 for 3. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to short. He's 0 for 4. And that's going to end the inning. But the home run from Pete O'Brien off of Vandenberg gives them an insurance run. And we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Tribe. They'll have to do it against the Wild thing. Texas will be making a defensive move, I do believe, as they might be bringing in a left fielder to replace Incaviglia and his 4 E16 rating. They will be bringing on Bob Brower as a defensive change. Defensively for Pete Incaviglia. So Incaviglia is out. Bob Brower is in. So Bob Brower will play left field in the 9th inning. So that's going to be right here, Bob Brower. So Brower is your new left fielder. All right, so Mitch Williams is in. Got the final out of the 8th inning, looking to get it 4-out save. He's going to be facing the schedule here is a Bernazard, Butler, and Franco. I don't see any reason not to use any of them. Would make sense to use. It's your top guys, so you got to go with them. 7-5, Cleveland trails it in the top of the 9th. 4-2 for Bernazard, switch hitter left, batting right-handed. That's a strikeout. So Mitch Williams puts the K on Bernazard. 1 down for Brett Butler. Tribe needs a bloop and a blast to tie this game. Got to get somebody on first before you can get the blast. 6-3 left-handed. Ground ball first base X. That's going to be O'Brien. He's a 2E12. 2 and an E12. 2 and a 5 should still be okay. 2 and a 5 is a G3, so he'll have to field it and flip it to Mitch Williams. He is an E12 as a first baseman, so he's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18. 6, 9, 15, and 18. And that's an 11, so that's good to go. He'll field it, flip it to Mitch Williams, covering for the out. 1 out away from the Rangers, improving their record to 11-13 and dropping the Tribe to 12-15. It's Julio Franco. He is 2 for 4. That's a 6-12, and that's a strikeout for Mitch Williams against right-handers. That will do it. Mitch Williams does the job, strikes them out, and that's your ball game. 7-5, the final. As the Wild Thing gets it done. And we'll go to our box score to get the final totals. Winning pitcher is Charlie Hough. He improves to 5-1 now with that win. The save for Mitch Williams is his 4th. He went 1 1/3 innings and gave up nothing, striking out 2. So that's his best outing of the year by far. Camacho went 1 inning, gave up nothing. Losing pitcher Phil Niekro, he drops to 1-3 with that loss. Player of the game, Pete O'Brien. We're giving it to Pete O'Brien. He was 3 for 3, including a home run that gave him the extra cushion. But he had 2 runs batted in, 3 runs scored. He was 3 for 4, 3 runs scored. Actually, 1 run batted in because his single here only put him to 3rd. But still, 3 for 4, raised his average to 349 on the season. So Pete O'Brien is your player of the game. Pete O'Brien. Home runs in the game. Mel Hall is 4th. Pete O'Brien is 6th. Incaviglia his 3rd. And Sierra his 11th. Mitch Williams gets the save. Texas now 11-13. Cleveland 12-15. And that completes the May 6th schedule for the American League. We move on to May the 7th for the next game, and there's only 1 game scheduled on May the 7th, and it will come from the Metrodome. It'll be the Baltimore Orioles against the Minnesota Twins. It's the only game scheduled. I believe it's a Thursday, May the 7th, so everybody else is traveling, but these 2 teams will play each other, Baltimore and Minnesota. Mike Flanagan against Frank Viola. That'll be the matchup in the next game on the Strat-O-Matic replay. But that will be for next time. So for this time, we go to the standings and see what this does for these teams. Texas now is 11-13. They're 5 games behind Oakland, but they're only 1 game behind second place Kansas City and Chicago, who are tied at 12-12. Cleveland drops to 12 and 15. They've fallen behind Baltimore by half a game. They're in next to last place as they're still ahead of Boston, but they are struggling to say the least. So that's going to do it from here. Final score once again. Well, I didn't. You know what? I didn't do the. I didn't do the full score here, did I? I meant to fill all this in. All right, 7 runs, 10 hits. I don't believe there were any errors in the game. No, there was one error. I know there was one error somewhere. There was an E6 somewhere. Who had the E6? Where did my E6 go? I know there was an E6. I'm not imagining things. There had to be an error. I know the error's right here. Okay, so Texas had the error. Okay. And for Cleveland, they got 9 hits. So 7, 10, and 1 for Texas, 5, 9, and 0 for Cleveland. Hough the winner, 5 and 1. Niekro the loser, 1 and 3. Williams the save, his 4th. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.